Welcome, welcome. We are reading chapter 6, My Grandpa's Wallet. And if you remember, Junie B found a lovely pen that can write 4 different colors. Wowie, wow, wow. And she really likes that. And she thinks this is the perfect opportunity for her to have a pen that writes 4 colors. I kept my pen in my pocket the whole rest of the day. I didn't want people to see it, or else they might tattletale to Mrs., and she would make me take it to the lost and found. I behaved myself very good because I didn't want to attract attention. That's why. I kept my hand in my pocket so my pen would not fall out. I also kept thinking about my mittens because I still missed those furry guys. I put my head down on my table. Maybe my Grandpa Miller might buy me some more fully furry mittens, I whispered, because that would be a perfect solution, I think. I raised up my head. Hey, yeah, then I would have wonderful new mittens, plus a wonderful new pen. And so what more can a girl ask for? That's what I'd like to know. I sat up in my chair and tapped on Lucille. Guess what, Lucille? Maybe my Grandpa Frank Miller might buy me some new mittens, and then all my troubles will be over. Lucille said, whoop-de-doo for me. I know it is whoop-de-doo, I said, real thrilled. So thank you for your support. After school, me and my bestest friend named Grace rode the bus together. I run home from my corner like a speedy bullet. My Grandpa Frank Miller was babysitting my brother, named Ollie. Grandpa Frank Miller, we gotta go to the mitten store. We gotta go to the mitten store, I hollered real loud. Grandpa Frank Miller was in the living room, rocking Ollie. He looked funny at me. Go where? He said. To the mitten store. We gotta go to the mitten store. I pulled his hand up. Get up, let's get a wiggle on. Grandpa Miller looked confused at me. That's how come I had to sit down. And I told him what happened at school. Someone stole my mittens, I said. They stole them while I was being brownie, and I don't even know there were crooks at that place. Grandpa Frank Miller shook his head very sad. I guess you can find crooks almost anywhere, honey, he said. I know it, I told him. That's how come I'm never going to see those furry guys again. So you and me, we have to go to the mitten store. I felt in his back pocket. Then I danced around real thrilled. Hooray, I shouted. Hooray for your big fat wallet. 'Cause you got cash in there. Right, Grandpa? Right? Grandpa Frank Miller laughed. Yes, I do. I've got cash all right, he said. But I'm afraid we won't be able to buy you more mittens. The mittens I bought for you were the only furry ones they had left. I bought you the very last pair. Just then, all the happy went right out of me because I didn't actually count on this terrible development. Yeah, only we have to, Grandpa. We have to buy more furry mittens or else what will I ever do? Grandpa Miller ruffled my hair. Did you look in the lost and found at school? He asked. I did a sad breath. Yeah, only that dumb thing doesn't work that good because people don't always turn stuff in. I patted my new pen in my pocket. Trust me on this, I said real soft. Well, your mittens could still turn up, he said. Folks will surprise you sometimes. Then he told me a story about his wallet. A few years ago I lost my wallet at the mall. I was sure I would never see it again, he said. I bobbed my head up and down. I know it. That's because the finders, keepers, losers, weepers. I said, finders, keepers, losers, weepers was the rule, right? Grandpa Miller smiled. Well, it might be the rule for some people, but luckily it's not the rule for everyone. Because the very next day when I went out to get my mail, there it was. My wallet was sitting right smack in the middle of my mailbox, and not one single penny was missing. His eyes looked happy and sparkly. Can you imagine that, little girl? He asked. Someone had the chance to take everything in my wallet, but instead they drove all the way to my house and they put it in my mailbox. Just then he reached in his back pocket and pulled out his wallet. Look what I would have lost if they hadn't returned it, he said. He took a picture out of his wallet and handed it to me. It's you and a baby, I said. But that's not just any baby, he said. That's you, Junie B. That's a picture of the very first time I ever held you. He took the picture back and stared at it. Nicest thing a stranger ever did for me was bringing this picture back, he whispered real soft. Then he leaned over and he kissed me on my head. Chapter 7. The Pink Fluffy Girl. What do you think? Do you think Junie B might start thinking about what she's done? Do you think she might decide that maybe keeping the pen wasn't a good idea? Do you think she'll find her mittens? See you tomorrow.